So today I've brought out with me probably the worst ever camera to hit the face of film photography. A camera that came out quite a long while ago and just slapped everyone in the face really. The Holga. This is a Holga camera. Plastic, light leak, scrappy lens. You never really know if you're in focus or not. 2 apertures, f8 and f11, and 1 shutter speed. And it's totally plastic. And I've done the holy grail of mistakes today with a Holga. I've forgotten to bring out some electrical tape to tape up all the edges just so that my film doesn't get any light leaks. It really is a piece of crap. And anyone that puts a film inside a Holga is really wasting their film. You may as well spend it on a few cups of coffee with your mates or something like that, or a couple of beers, than put a film inside one of these. And for the price of them, what, 30 quid? You may as well buy a battery charger or something for your car.
Dad, what are you doing?
I swapped my Holga for a battery charger. You know, I'm surprised Holga are not even giving these things away. They even have a Holga week once a year, just so that everybody's got an excuse to dust off their Holga that they bought or got given to them or gifted or whatever, just so they can use it. They don't really want to use it, but they just feel like it's Holga week, they have to. Well, that's all the Holga hate comments shut up, isn't it? That's the usual stuff that I get in the comments whenever I bring the Holga out. It is what it is. It's plastic fantastic. It's great fun, and I enjoy shooting it. And I also enjoy the results that I get from the Holga. It's not a fantastic camera, we know that. It doesn't produce fantastic images, we know that. A little bit soft, a little bit vignette-y sometimes, and the focus is a little bit hit and miss. But it's in a league of its own. With a whole range of Holga prints, you could probably have a whole gallery of Holga prints. And anyone that doesn't know photography will look at them and go, they're really nice. I like the images that I get from a Holga. And as it's been Holga week, I thought I may as well bring it down here, a couple of rolls of film, and shoot the shit out of it. I've got 2 rolls of film, JCH Street Pan 400 and also Delta 400 as well. Why am I shooting 400 speed film in this? It's 1/100th of a shutter speed, and I've got 2 apertures, f11 and f8. So if it's sunny, f11, it's a little bit cloudy, f8. But I've always shot a 400 speed film in this camera on a day like today. In fact, I'll probably even overexpose these, I don't know. But it's great fun to use. And when I get back and develop these films, get in the darkroom, I'm sure a little bit of overexposure isn't going to hurt. So with the Holga, you've got the focusing little tiny pictures. You've got your portrait mode and etc, etc, up to mountains, which is sort of like, you know, infinity focus. So it's quite easy to focus. And even if it does slip out of focus a little bit, the pictures are soft anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's go over here where there's some nice boats. You've always got to remember to take the lens cap off this thing and put it in your pocket until you finish your shoot. It's so easy to leave the lens cap on. So let's take a shot here. Use the focus with a group of people. This is about, I don't know, 15 feet away. Loads of little boats. So if you've never thought about getting a Holga before, honestly, for the price of these things, what, 30 quid? I've already said all this at the start. There's going to be people that can't stand this camera. That's up to them. If you like to experiment with photography, and for the sake of what, 30 quid or maybe $35 or whatever, stick a couple of rolls of film in here, you might like it. And it's medium format, 6x6, produces nice large images for scanning or printing. It's pretty much no fuss photography. I'm going to set this to f11. It's 1/100th of a shutter speed. I've got 400 speed film in here. The only thing I have done, made a mistake, I didn't bring my tape out, because that's quite true. These things do love a light leak around the sides. I've got it facing the sun at the moment. There's probably bags of light hitting my film already, but do I care? Not really. If I get a light leak, I get a light leak. It is what it is. But normally I tape up the edges. I forgot the electrical tape. The only one thing you've got to be careful is not to, you know, these are a little bit temperamental, these clasps that hold the back on. There's a clip, the clip's come off. I need to put that on, otherwise the back won't stay on. And if they're not on properly and they clip off, it's happened to me before, the back flips off, you've ruined your film, you've had a bad day. That's why the electrical tape's pretty good to put around it. Another rule of thumb is every time you take a picture, don't forget to advance your camera or the Holga, because if you take a picture, if you get into a pattern of taking a picture, advancing, take a picture, advance, if you get into that pattern, you won't ever miss a frame. Sometimes you stop and you think, have I advanced the camera? Have I taken that shot? So you advance again and you end up with a blank frame. So I always take one picture and then advance. So again, I'm about 10 or so, 15 feet maybe away from the subject. Open up to f8 on this one. I've got a little cheat sheet as well on the back. It just tells me that my feet with the little tiny icons on the lens. I'm going to take another shot over here because I'm lower down this time. Nice composition. There's two little boats here and that one's just coming over at a slant. Let's grab that one, eh? The only difficult thing is trying to see through the red window at the back to try and find your next frame number. You have to hold it in towards the sun just so you can see it. It's easy to miss otherwise. There you go, frame number 10. And just because there's a red window there, don't forget there's backing paper on that film, so it's not getting through to the film. Well, at least I hope not. I'm more concerned about the gaps and all the all the badly finished parts of this Holga that really should be taped up. I think brand new ones, they're quite secure, but after a while, you know, they've been beaten up for a few years. It's best to start sticking tape around, obviously, especially if you start seeing light leaks on your film. This could be a nice shot. A little bit of this on the right hand side, leading onto that boat, blue sky in the background. A bit lower. I'm going to come down. Now I need the sky in. Okay, it looks a bit awkward, but there's like that blue thing kicking off into the sky. I don't want the houses in. We'll try that. Done. I'm nearly onto the delta. Frame number 11. See, this is how you do it. You sort of walk close, you've got to pretend that you're sort of shooting over that way. He'll probably look at me and ignore me because I haven't got the camera pointed to him, but as soon as he's in position, I'll take my shot. You can probably hear me talking. He's thinking that guy's a right weirdo, talking to himself. I suppose you can get away with it these days with Bluetooth headsets and whatnot. Oh, he's packing away. I've got that before he packed away. Right, that was number 12. Shot number 12 done. All I've got to do now is rewind the film all the way back onto the spool. Hang on, there's one more shot. How does that work out? There's one more shot. Oh no, I didn't double expose. That's another good thing about the Holga. I've done some really nice double exposures with this thing in the past. Most of the time they don't work out, but there's one particular one I did of a railway crossing which was a triple exposure. I thought that worked really well. Again, it's so easy to double expose on this. One click, one click, one click, triple, 4, 5, 6 times overexpose. Double expose. It's so easy to do. I think I might have already done one. So here's the thing, when I get back and develop this film, obviously we always hope for the best, you know. We hope that we get back, develop, or send your film away or whatever, and when you get your photographs back, your negatives back, you always hope that there's going to be some nice pictures in there. Hopefully every frame that you've taken is going to be nice, but in my experience, if I get 1 or 2 out of this camera that I like, then that's a bonus, because, you know, although I'd like them to be nice, every single one of them, I can guarantee they're not. But I've enjoyed shooting film, I've enjoyed shooting a Holga, and I've enjoyed walking around here taking pictures, that in itself is a nice afternoon. But if I get a couple of photographs that I can go in the darkroom later on and print, maybe frame for indoors, that's even better. Nice leading line going on to that old boat. I don't know if that's working or not. I can't imagine that will float. Let's get a picture of it though. This looks nice, these leading lines either side. It's not a great background, but the leading lines look nice with the wood. Let's take that shot. And that's it. That is that roll of Delta done. I think I missed about 3 or 4 frames because I couldn't see the numbers on the back. To confuse me, I'll show you what I mean in a moment. When we develop the film, I'll show you the back of the roll and you'll see what I'm talking about. I've never seen that before with an Ilford film. But then don't forget, it is 2011, so right, let's get back, we'll develop this film and we'll have a look at the scans and see if there's anything decent to go in the darkroom with. So I developed the negatives when I got back in 510 Pyro, Zone Imaging's 510 Pyro, and they came out quite nice. The JCH Street Pan at least anyway. The Delta 400, that was an expired film. I must admit I've not seen a bad expired film for a long time, and that was quite bad. The base on the film was very foggy, and I scanned those and showed you on the computer, but they're still printable, and there's only one out of that roll that I actually liked. But on the JCH Street Pan there was a couple that I liked, so I was quite happy at the end of the day with the shoot. Like I said, if I come back and I've got at least a couple of negatives that I can print, then I'm happy. If I didn't have any on those negs at all, I'd be like, oh, okay, that was a shame. But at least I've got a couple to print, so I'm quite happy with that. And guys, let us know in the comments if you have got Holga camera. Do you shoot it often? Do you like the results that you get from the Holga, especially if you're darkroom printed as well? Do you like the prints that you make? And also, if you've had Holga cameras in the past and just ditched them, got rid of them, thought, I ain't shooting that rubbish anymore, and gave it away. Let me know in the comments, because I'm sure others would like to read it as much as myself. So let's get on with these prints. I'll show you what I'm up to, and hopefully they'll come out all right. It's actually a shame because I felt like these photographs on the next area that I went to over at Bembridge were better photographs, but like I said, they're still printable anyway. But I've got one here that I'd like to print, which is, where's it gone? I've lost the bloody thing. Which was this one here, the boat with the leading line. I quite like that photograph. It's on the Ilford Delta 400, which it's got a natural stain from it anyway from the Pyro, but the base of the film's definitely foggy due to age. But I like that. Let's see if we can make a print of that, and also one on the JCH Street Pan as well. And there's the image there projected from the negative on the baseboard. Just got to do a couple of test strips to see how long it's going to take me to make a final print. The aperture is wide open. If I close that aperture down, I'm going to be looking at quite long times, so I might have to shoot this wide open, which is 4.5 on this lens. And I'm using a negative carrier with the edges taken away, so it reveals the rebate of the film, which will give us that black border. It's quite heavy, but I think it will look quite nice. And we'll just put a 2.5 grade filter under there, start with that. So this is going to be a fun one. I've just made 3 different tests. The 2.5 grade filter looked fine, but the sky didn't tickle the sky, so I've had to put a low contrast filter in, 0 contrast filter, and I'll have to burn the sky in. So 10 seconds on 2.5 grade filter, off it goes, and then I'll put the 0 filter in and do that for 20 seconds just to get that sky in. But I must try and avoid darkening the top of the boat. That's going to be the tricky part. Let's go 15 seconds. So I'm just going to burn that sky in for 15 seconds. Hopefully I don't darken the top of that boat. It's going to be tricky. So I'm just going diagonally across it. And back around the other side. So I just need to get a little bit of detail in the sky rather than it being pure white. Like so. And I'm just going to now bounce a little tiny bit of this little circular tool now. And I'm just going to bounce and try and get some sort of stronger vignette going on. You can see that there. Just covering the whole centre section and just burning the corners in, especially up in the sky. See how that looks, eh? Now when I scanned these negatives on my digital camera, I noticed there was a couple of little blobs on this particular one, and I thought it may have come from the lens on the digital camera when I scanned it in, or took a photograph of the negative, but it's actually on the negative here, so it makes me think maybe the Holga inside maybe had a little tiny spot on the lens, or maybe on the outside. Just something I'll have to check, but that's looking quite nice. We'll get this one fixed, stop, fixed and dried, and see how it looks. That looks nice. It's come out better than I thought. Them little blobs are on there, but that doesn't matter to me too much. It is what it is. Let's get that washed and properly washed, and then dry it out. We'll have a look. And other than the little tiny spots, 1, 2, 3 I can see on there, that's come out looking really nice. The tonality is really cool. Partly to do with that pyro, no doubt. And obviously it's a great film, even though it was expired in 2011. But that has come out really nice, and I'm happy with it. So that's the second negative that I printed, the very first print that came out after one test strip, and I'm really happy with that. Contrast 0 filter I used this time, and just to sort of get some detail going on inside that boat and not hit those blacks too much, and it's come out looking really nice. The only thing I did do was a little bit for 7 seconds. This was 10 seconds, and for an extra 7 seconds I just burned in this area of the sky. You can see that there's not a great deal of detail there, but I then used my little bounce tool here and burned a vignette kind of look again, like the last print, and you can see the sky now creeping in the corners. And because that's happened, I quite like it. I was going to go and do another print and try and burn the sky in even more, but I like the way it is. It gives you all the focus on the boat, which looks really nice. So I've got 2 nice prints there from that little tiny cheap Holga camera, expired film, and JCH Street Pan, which is a fresh film there. Nice heavy border. Those 2 are going to go in my Holga collection. I actually like this one a lot. I like this one as well. Couple of little marks, like I said earlier on, but that's not going to bother me. It's on the negative. It is what it is. I can't take them off the neg, and I'm not throwing the negative away just because of that. I like the picture. You're looking at the boat. You're not looking at the spots. It's nice. So I hope I didn't scare too many of you when I first started the video talking about the Holga in a negative way. Of course it's not negative. I think they're great little cameras, cheap as chips as well, and they're good fun and easy to use. You just got to remember, when you put a roll of film in there, whatever you're shooting, you've only got 2 apertures and 1 shutter speed. So if all of a sudden you're in a really bright condition, you might get an overexposed neg. But I always try not to go underexposed. That becomes more tricky when you've got an underexposed negative. An overexposed negative is much easier to work with. That's why I use the 400 speed film. So if I am in a bright area, I know it's going to be a little bit overexposed, but that gives me leeway to get into a more shady area and shoot away. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Happy Holga week. It might be a little bit late. I think it's towards the end of Holga week now. But dust your Holgas off if you've got one. Jump on the website. I'll put a link in the description. I'm not sure when the closing date is. Might be tomorrow. It's Saturday night, might be tomorrow, but I'm sure you already know about Holga Week anyway. Also, let me know, is there a folder week? We all love our folding cameras. I know you guys do, I do as well. Is there a folder week? Should we start a folder week for folding cameras? Let us know in the comments. I'll catch you next time. Fucking hell, nearly went.